Happy Monday. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I'm Shay Wilson, thinking big, living bigger, and loving the biggest. Happy Monday. This is on the ShayShift Live. We're talking spiritually fit this morning. Come on with it. Come on with it. Come on with it. Good morning. Man, we are moving and shaking in August. It is August 29th. We are moving and shaking. It's amazing. I hope that all of you had a amazing weekend or a good weekend or a restful weekend or a peaceful weekend or a fun weekend, all those good things, a prosperous weekend. I hope you had all of that. I hope this morning you are awakening and you're easing into this day and moving and shaking. And some on the East Coast are already moving and shaking a little bit more than us, but that's all right. That's all right. And as I always start, this topic is a topic that's close to my heart. Love with detachment, or love without conditions. This morning is a spiritually fit characteristic, and so we want to talk about that and what that looks like. But before that, we always want to say what you appreciate, what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for this morning. We set the tone for our day by what we are appreciating, what we are appreciation and gratitude increases what you're talking about. I appreciate the abundance that I have. I appreciate meaning that I can go out to eat when I want to go out to eat. I can go get what I want to go get. I appreciate that. We kind of forget that sometimes. I appreciate nature and how it moves and how it's never disturbed. We try to think we can control it, but we cannot. I appreciate being on with you guys this morning and sharing my gift. Even sometimes when I think, and I could have done better, it's always the fact that I'm doing and not just saying I'm actually doing it. So good morning. Tell me if you're out there. Let me know you're out there. Say good morning to me. I want to see you. I have it on different platforms, so I'll have to look it up for you real quick to make sure that I am seeing you. Let me put it up on my other screen. Let's look. Let me look, see if I can get you. Let me get you. Let's see. Hey, Jen, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. So this is what we're talking about, love without attachments. Let me read something to you real quick that I wrote this weekend. And this is how we're going to start this thing, is that some of us are being asked to grow in love in areas in our hearts, stretching and growing. I'm learning and practicing that the most loving and healthiest thing that I can do in my relationships, and that's with lovers, that's with children, that's with co-workers, that's with clients, that's with friends, is to accept them fully as they are, who they are right now, who they are, okay? And to allow them to be that person, to be who they are, okay? And on the flip side, because that's one of the most loving things, but on the flip side, one of the hardest things to do is to love someone enough to accept them as they are right now, especially if their behavior isn't what I think it should be, and to allow them the freedom to be who they are while maintaining our peace and boundaries. That's the thing. Allow them to be who they are while we maintain our peace and boundaries and love for them. Because what we tend to do is first of all, we want to control how they're moving, and we don't look at it as control, but it is. We're not happy with how they move, and we're not satisfied. And I'm not saying accept, because I said boundaries. I'm not saying accept bad behavior like infidel, whatever. I'm not saying that. Whatever boundaries or negotiations you have for yourself, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we have a tendency to marinate on things that are about people that only bring out the negative in the situation. Okay, that only does that. If you're only looking at what they're not doing, who they could have done something better or what have you, then you're missing out on the relationship in a lot of ways. You are literally bringing out the worst because you expect them to be a certain way, and you only expect that, so that's what you get. Okay, that's the thing here. So I don't want to dive too deep into that. So I'm understanding, even if we are been together for a while, so now I'm talking about intimate relationships. We all are on individual journeys. If we can get back to this is so one of the things I'm going to talk about is number one, trying to love without conditions, love without detachment to the outcome is This is doctoral level stuff, guys. We ain't taught this stuff. We talk, and it really is about forgiveness. It's really about forgiveness. Forgiveness. Sidebar. I was talking to a friend of mine this weekend about knee injuries and knees, and so many people have problem with knees. Everybody got a problem with their knees out there? Let me see you. Put your hands up. If you got a problem with your knees right now, this is for you right here. Let me see. Hey, D-Love, what's going on? Now, if you're having a problem with your knees right now, let me read something to you that I was talking to a friend of mine. I was looking up something for knees, and what it said was that a knee, issues with your knees, and I'm talking about holistic type of things. It's not necessarily medical. And so she says that the knee joints represent our pride and ego. Now, remember, we got stored energy different places in our bodies, and some of that's why we have issues. Okay, I don't want to get too deep into that. And so she said the affirmation that we should say over our knees and over our, for this situation is, I am flexible and flowing. Now that alone right there, so I'm going back to what our topic is love without conditions. Many of us have been taught to have all these things, and it should be this way. The relationship should be this way. They should do it that way. They are not doing it this way. They're not doing it the way I think they should be doing it. And we get very rigid about how it's supposed to look. If this is helping somebody, let me know. So she says the affirmation is, I am flexible and flowing. Now it says knee problems. Okay, she breaks it down. I'm reading out of Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. Okay, that's what I'm reading out of. And she says stubborn ego and pride, inability to bend, fear, inflexibility, and won't give in. Come on now, listen. I would help somebody this morning with this. I thought this was so amazing, and maybe it was just me that I said, oh, man, okay, where in my life am I being inflexible? Where in my life am I being fearful to move forward? And it says stubborn ego and pride, inability to bend, fear, inflexibility, and won't give in. And here is the affirmation for this. I want to leave this with you because I think this is major. Forgiveness, understanding, compassion. I bend and flow with ease, and all is well. That's this thing to start saying over there. So as you're trying to do what you need to do with your knee, taking care of your body. But isn't it interesting that the knee is the area that we fear going forward? We hold on to things, and we define ourselves in ways that doesn't keep us, that doesn't serve us anymore. We define ourselves and say, well, that's just me. No, this is the thing. We are fluid. We are supposed to be changing. We're not supposed to stay the same. If you're having some knee issues, I don't care. Listen, some of this stuff sounds woo-woo to some people, but I'm about this. I think that the creator, the universe, the God of my understanding is so big that my little minor understanding of my little finite mind of what I'm saying right now could possibly be challenged by some of this. So I'm like, well, that makes sense to me. If I'm afraid of something, if I'm just standing still and rigid in something, it locks up your knees, which means the energy is locked in your knees, which means you can't move forward in whatever situation. Your perceptions are still back there. And so when you come up against something new, we're rigid. We're rigid with people. If you find yourself being rigid with people, first of all, that means you're rigid with yourself. So be gentle. Be gentle. Realize that something is triggering you. Okay, just okay. Come on. So that's I wanted to give y'all that this morning because I thought that was fascinating. I said that's amazing. And one of my friends that I was talking to, she said, Shay, that's insane. I said, I know, right? Like in a good way. And she said, send it to me. I said, I'll send it to you. But just affirming something different. All right. So let's go back to loving without conditions and loving with detachment. Every time I think about this topic, have you ever been in love with someone or love someone that you can't be with them and you want the best for them? Okay. That comes up to me. And how do you proceed with loving people? Because you can't love everybody intimately. But you do have friends and family that you love dearly. You want the best for them. You have a connection with them, and yet that's not somebody you're going to be with, and you want the best. That's how I think of this, and how God to me has downloaded this to me. When we love, then remember, there's different types of love. But we get caught up and we are very rigid in situations. And we're talking about intimate relationships now, that we can't move forward because they have done something or they're not doing how we want them to do. And we just get hard and rigid. And in actuality, spirit is trying to stretch you. The only time we get our biggest lessons, understand this right here, is in intimate relationships. Friendships don't have to be in our bedroom. Friendships, we can kind of maneuver and show them what we need to show them. But our intimate relationships are one of our biggest gifts to help us to grow. To help us to grow. I listen, intimate relationships, it's the intimate ones that show you. Okay? So I gave you the thing about the knee because I thought that was just amazing information, that just something to consider. I'll put up the affirmations that she said and what that said and what that looks like, because I thought that was fascinating. Again, we want to be gentle with ourselves. Spiritually fit people, listen, we know things and then we try to practice them, but we are considerate and gentle with ourselves first before we move forward. So loving without conditions. That's a very hard thing. Like, I got conditions. Guys, we have expectations, lofty expectations of people that they can't possibly get to. The expectations are for you. What do you expect out of yourself? Which brings me to number one. I said I was going to give you 5 things. Number one, go back to the basics. What do you expect out of yourself? Who are you? Who and how do you want to be? That's the first thing I would ask myself. Because when we're in, some of us are dealing with some situations that we've gotten thrown off. We are walking around angry, upset, and we blocked our flow. We're moving in a way that we don't really care to carry ourselves, because we have a forgiveness piece that we need to deal with. We have a piece that then, so let's go back to the basics. Who do I want to be? How do I want to move? What do I want? Ask yourself those questions. Those are awesome questions. Back to the basics. How did I feel when I first met this way? Go back to the basics and come back forward and start releasing. Some of this stuff is just purely forgiveness. We think that we know, okay, better. And sometimes we don't. The scripture that keeps coming up to me, and I don't want to get you guys all caught up in the scripture stuff because it's just something that popped in my head, is Proverbs 3:5. Lean not on your own understanding. Trust in God, trust in the Creator, trust in the universe, and lean not on your own. Because some of our understanding is very minuscule. It's not a great expansive view anymore. We must understand it's something bigger than ourselves, bigger, and that's the fearful part. That we're coming with the knees part. When a lot of you guys are so smart, educated, intelligent, that we have a tendency not to believe new things because we already think we have enough information. And therein is the issue. When we get very rigid about what we think and understand that life is just steady flowing and growing and expansive and opening up, and it's like, wow. So I love to think that I may have had an idea and a viewpoint maybe 3 years ago, and as I've learned and grown, that idea and viewpoint is no longer me. That's not what I think now, because I've gotten more information. All right, so number one is go back to the basics, asking yourself, who do I want to be? How do I want to move? What do I need? Okay, number two, consider our relationships are helping us to grow in certain areas and helping us to illuminate areas in our lives that need to be healed. Some of these relationships, listen, I tell you, our children will trigger us in a lot of ways, but our intimate partners are the ones that give us and show us areas where we need to love and heal on ourselves, period. We can solve at anything else and say, I'm good by myself, right? And so we have a hard time seeing us. But when when you're blessed and have an intimate relationship, and I know it may not be the greatest, or it may not be going well, or what have you, or it may be the greatest, but they show us and areas that need to be healed. Okay, so number two, so look at it. So think about that. What areas, if you're having an issue right now, what area in me is this showing? Why is this triggering me? What is it that I need for me? It's always you versus you. It's not the other person. I know you think they doing stuff, but it is always, what do I need? What am I need to learn from here? What is triggering here? What areas in my life are needed to be healed that I thought was healed? Many of us suppress very well until that thing triggers and pops up. What do I need to forgive within me? Okay, number 3, look at where you are. Again, that goes back to number 2. Look at where you need to love yourself more. Look at number 3. Look at where you need to love yourself more. Look at where you need to love yourself more, and be gentle and start loving yourself more there. We keep looking for external stuff, and as we continue to grow, we realize that our energy attracts those behaviors. That's why I was talking about earlier about how we bringing out the best in people, is because we see the best in them. When we only see the worst, when we only see the mistakes, that's what we get, because we expect it. So now we don't realize that we are drawing out that behavior. And you may be saying the words, the flowery words, but your energy will speak every single time. Your behavior will speak every single time. And if you right now looking at somebody, well, that's how they doing it, go back to you. Just remember, back to the basics, always you versus you. Well, what am I seeing? Why am I focusing on that? What makes me focus on that? What do I need to do to heal this relationship? Especially if you're in a committed relationship and on a job relationship, people that you got to be around. How do I better handle this relationship where I'm not being out of character? Again, energy ain't matching energy with me. I'm going to go up here, and if you're going to come up here with me, that's great. If you're not, I can't come down there and play the games with you. I am a loving person. I will always lose. First of all, I'll lose that. I'll lose it because meaning that I can't do that kind of stuff. I don't win very well being catty or this. I don't do that very well. I'll just listen. I love you enough. I don't want to be walking around here without talking. I don't want to be walking around here and having an attitude with you. I don't want that. I love you and love people. So how can we deal with this? How better? And I'm not good at that all the time, but trust and believe, I don't like the silent stuff. I don't like the attitude stuff at work and going in and the energy is just bad. No. So I build a environment where I'm as open and loving as I possibly can be, so that other people can be that way too around me. Listen. It take work though too. Just this is doctoral level stuff, guys. Come on. Number 4, surrender control. This is going to be the biggest one. This is where the needs come in again. Surrender and control. Listen, we can't make grown people do what we think they should do, and we out of alignment when we do. We out of alignment, guys. If you're trying to make someone do how you think they should do, and I mean grown children, I mean people on the job, unless you own the business, then that's different. That's different. Our spouses, our significant, if you're trying to make them, shame them, guilt them, do all of that, we're out of alignment. You're out of alignment. Don't beat yourself up. You're out of alignment. You must surrender control. If you don't, you're just going to be upset yourself. The whole apple cart going to be turned over. And I don't like upset. I don't. I'll do upset if it's going to go to a solution. If it's going to a solution, yes. But the other part, no. I don't like a lot of upset. I like peace. So how do I get to that peaceful part? All right. And number 5, this is a thing that's going to get you. This is a thing. Number 5, I'll leave you with this. Write down the top 10 favorite things you love about someone that you're having a problem with right now, that you're out of alignment with right now. It could be someone on the job. It could be your children. It could be your spouse, your significant other right now. Sit down and write all the 10 things that you love about them, your most favorite things, because what happens is that we get into the routine of talking about what you don't like. And that it could be 1 or 2 minor things, or major, but there's 20 major things that you love about them. Write them. It changes the vibration. 10 things, and then write it about yourself. The 10 things that you love about yourself, your favorite things that you love about you. that you love about you. Put it up. Come on. I need you to do those things. Come on. I need you to do those things. Let's see what we got. All right, guys. I preach. Listen, do those things for me. Those 5 things. Go back to the basics was number 1. Number 2 is consider that your relationship is an area for you to show you how to grow and expand and love and enjoy this life. It is a gift, and it can be most definitely challenging, as everybody knows, but forgiveness is the undergirding of all of this. There's no love without forgiveness, and there is no forgiveness without love. You hear me? Number 3, look at where you need to love yourself. Look at where you need to love yourself more, because that's what comes up when you're in upset. There's areas that you probably need to touch to love yourself a little bit more that maybe need to be healed. Number 4, surrender the controls. That's a tough one for us. Listen, surrendering control. Some of us have been in control all our lives, or especially our adult lives with children, with on the job or this. So surrendering control is something, and it's not just giving in. It's not a giving up. It's a giving in to something greater. Woo! It's a giving in to something greater. Oh, I'm getting past my time. And number 5, write the 10 things, the 5 favorite things. And so when you get upset, go back and write down, what do I really love about myself? What do I love about my spouse? What do I love what we do, how we do it, and write that down. Especially if you're committed to staying in the relationship. Listen, that is the key. If you're committed, then we find the tools to get it done, make it do what it do. All right, guys, I'm super over my time now. I got to get out of here. I want to be mindful of your time. I appreciate you jumping on. Have an amazing Monday. Set your intentions. Set them now. So when you move through this day, you moving through this day how you want to do, not at the affect of what's going on outside of you, that you want to be loving, you want to be strong, you want to move and shake, you want to, hey, you're welcome, Susie Crawley, you're welcome. Thank you for jumping on. You understand? Listen, and then go back to the knee thing. The knee thing, if you have knee problems, I need you to let me know, because this right here kills me. I went, okay. But the information, I said, hey, I received that. Where am I being inflexible at? Hey, you welcome, Deborah. You welcome, gorgeous. Where am I being inflexible at? Let's listen. Let me think about this. I'm about it. All right, guys, have an amazing day. Talk with you soon. Please like, share. Have a great conversation with someone about this video, and we going from there. Let's go, guys. Bye.